Okay, so good evening. I'm starting the class now. All right, I'm starting here by myself. You're going to join at 8:30, I believe, in Gina. So that being the case, again, this is going to be recorded. I'm going to turn on my camera. Okay, there you go. And again, I have to start now to cover the first half of the class. I won't be able, right, to wait until 8:30 because I have other activities also at 9 o'clock p.m. And it's not going to be possible to just have that, well, those 30 minutes, right, that half class over there. So I'm going to record this for you. You watch this first part of the class after, well, we finish working with the class. Everything is streamed, right? Everything is live. So it means that after we finish the class, after I finish the meeting, everything is automatically uploaded into the YouTube channel that this course has. And you only have to go over there to, well, have access to that specific channel. And one thing I'm going to do now, all right, this is yours. So I'm going to write your name here actually. All right, Gina, yours is at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to the YouTube channel to get the link so that you have that in our platform. Here you have, no, that's not the one. This is the one. Okay, just in case, I'm going to verify that everything is working good. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to test the microphone because I don't have your feedback. So, hello, hello. Okay, it seems to be working good. Now, over here, this is the channel, right? Okay, good. So as you can see, this is live. This is the third class out of 8 classes that we have for the first course. Remember that. We have 8 classes in total. Now, just give me a second. Now I can close this. I'm going to our channel. And actually, I'm going to post it here. Okay, so YouTube channel. There you go. Okay, now you have access to that information. And if you open it, you will go to our panel. Okay, and here you can see this is live once again. And once you have it with you, you can go to videos. Sometimes it's going to be here if it was uploaded by administration management. If it was live like this and the second class, it's going to be here, of course. All right, live. But of course, you're going to be watching this because you had access to that. But perhaps I'm going to send that link to your chat on WhatsApp. That's why you also need to know that it is going to be here. Okay, it's on the stream on Google Classroom. Now, with that said, we can start today's class. We have one lesson before this, but I'm going to wait for you because this is a simpler lesson that I can finish in these 20 minutes or less that we got for the first part. And it's very simple, and I'm sure that you can get it without any problems. So I'm going to start. Okay, advice. Models of advice, right? What's a model? It's one of those words that you can use as auxiliaries in most of the cases after the subject and before the main verb, right? So the model is going to be after the subject and before the main verb. Models can be, well, there are different types of models. I'm going to be writing some ideas just to illustrate. Okay, some examples of models can be can, right? That's a model. Can, that's a model. Could, that's a model. Right? Will, that's also a model. We have would, we have should, we have over here may, we have might, right? So those are models, okay? Can, could, will, would, should, may, might, must, for example, as well, okay? And again, there are different types and they have a different purpose because depending on the model that you use, some of them can be similar. For example, can, the past of can is could, but could is not only the past of can, could is also possibility for future or present. So could can be past, could can be future, present. Can is present, future, will, you know, that's future most of the cases. Would can be the past of will, but would it's also like a present idea, a condition. Should, it's related to our lesson, right? Advice. May, might, possibility, lower in percentage to could, and must, obligation in some of the cases. Okay, so those are models. And here we don't have to learn all models. Actually, let me set the camera over here. So we don't have to learn all models. We have to pay attention to models of advice, okay? Only models of advice. So the role to use models, this is always going to be the case, all right? And we have the subject plus the modal verb. Okay, the modal verb, it means all the models that I mentioned at the beginning can be can, could, should, must, may, might, and so on and so forth. All right, so any model, and that's going to be followed by a verb in the base form. Okay, any verb in the base form and the complement. And if we have that as part of one example, it is going to be, if we use can, for example, as subject, she, the model, can, the verb in the base form, play, and the complement, the piano, right? She can play the piano is an affirmative example with a model. If it's negative, we only add not, right? So we can say she can not play the piano. That's very simple. And the question is always with inversion, right? And she played piano. And if it's a WH question, right, it will be what can she play? Okay, so those are examples showing that after all models, we will be using the base form of the verb. Okay, play over here, play over here, play over here, and play over here in all the cases. That is followed, right? Or actually, it precedes, right? This model. But now, that's only the formula A, Gina. You're here with me now. We're just learning models of advice. Okay, I'm giving examples with can, but the main lesson that I just started is models of advice. So we know, again, I mentioned this at the beginning, I'm mentioning this now. These are examples of modal verbs. They indicate permission, ability, possibility, advice, obligation, and so on and so forth. So these are the ones. So please, Gina, you're going to tell me what you know about these models. For example, can. What do you know about can, Gina? When do you use can? Is it for present, for past, for future? What do you know about this model? Let me know, please.
When I use present is ability or permission.
Okay, good. Very good. What about could? When do we use could? What is could?
Is the past the can and the permission is the es una forma amable, algo así, de pedir algo
Okay.
o de poder hacer algo.
Good. Yes. Polite, right? It's a polite way to ask for something. Good. Yes. Perfect. Uh-huh. So could you pass me the salt, right? Or could you help me with this, right? You are asking for something, right? You are requiring something. Very good. So, and it's also possibility, right? So it's past of can. So it's possibility, is present future possibility, and is present future request, right? Could you help me? You're requesting. So possibility, possibility, and request, right? Three things. Can, yes, that's present ability or future ability also it can be. In most of the cases, it's going to be present. And also, yes, permission. That's perfect. What about may and might? The two together in Gina. When do you use may and might?
Uh, I use in the mm, possibility, um, and I think it's the permission too.
Yes, may is also for permission, and actually, may is the best option for permission, right? Great. Uh-huh. Both of them are possibility, right? I may go to the party or I may not go to the party. I don't know, right? I might go to the party or I might not go to the party. I don't know, right? Possibility. But yes, may I go to the bathroom? May I come in? That's permission. Very good. Will we know, right? But what about would? What is would and when do you use would?
It is a possibility and is used in the when I use the if. Um, uh, um, for example, I would, I don't remember where, but I would pass the exam. No, yes, I would pass exam if I study. I had studied.
All right, yes, it's for conditionals mainly, right? It's also the past of will, right? So would can be the past of will, and would is used for conditionals, right? That's perfect. And mainly for the present and real conditional, right? In your example, remember that you can use would, and the second part has to be in the simple past, right? So you can say, for example, but I'm going to invert it. So if I say, if I had more time, right? Simple past, but it's not past, it's present. If I had more time, I would travel more often, right? I would travel more often. Or if I had more money, or if I were millionaire, right? Comma, I would buy a helicopter. I would travel around the world. I would do this and that, right? So again, this is not the lesson for today. We don't have to know that, but yes, we use would for conditionals. That's great. What about actually not this one? Must. This is the last one in Gina. When do we use must?
Yeah, when I use in obligation o ¿cómo? A cosas prohibidas.
Yes, for forbidden things
Forbidden,
or
forbidden.
prohibited things. Yes. Uh-huh. Obligation and forbidden things to do, right? For example, you must not, right, trespass this property. You must not, right? What could it be? You must not copy in the test, right? If you do it, that's forbidden, that's prohibited, you will be punished, right? Or your test, right, might be just canceled. So, good, that's must. Now, in today's class, that what we're not seeing did this, we have to see should, ought to, and one more, I believe. We're going to see if it's here. But that's going to be our lesson for now. And actually, one of the lessons, AG. So, first, this is a general review. You told me this. We use can for abilities. So just for practicing, Gina, tell me please two things, or tell me one thing that you can do, one ability that you have, Gina, and tell me one thing that you cannot do, but that you wish that you could do.
Okay. Um, I can drive a car, and I can I can't uh, play the piano, and can't uh, mm, I can drive a motorbike.
Great, very good. Just in the last one, remember if you're talking about a motorbike, instead of drive is good, but it's better if you say ride, right? I can't ride a motorbike, right? Because anything that you are not going to drive, well, as you are sitting, it is going to be riding, right? You ride bicycles, you ride motorcycles or motorbikes, and you ride horses, right? So in this case, it's going to be right. So good. I can drive. I can drive, but I can't play the piano and I can't ride a motorbike. Okay, good. That's for ability. What about a past ability, Gina? Tell me, please, something that you could do when you were younger, and not always ability, but possibility. Something that you were able to do in the past when you were younger, Gina, right? You can say, when I was younger, I could, right, go out almost every day to play with my friends, let's say, okay? But what do you say? What is one thing that you could do in the past?
Uh, when I was younger, I could run faster, or I could um, mm, mm, I think I I could uh, swim uh, very well. I yes.
Okay, yes, yes, that's a good example. When I was younger, I could swim very well. Yes, right, because you can say, right, I didn't practice, and now I cannot swim very well. But in the past, I could do it, right? So yes, again, this is review. This is not the main topic, Gina. The main topic is going to be advice, but this is just review. May and might possibilities. We know that. So please just give me two possibilities for the future, Gina. Tell me two things that possibly you may or you might do, right? For example, and we're going to try to use other examples that are not here, right? So for example, we're not going to use the idea of the exam being tomorrow, no. But you can say, right, next week I may travel to La Paz, right? Next year I might study or graduate from university. I don't know, right? Perhaps we're not doing good, so you can say may or might. But what do you say? What are two possibilities that you can tell me, Gina, using may and might?
Mm, my family made travel 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 to Miami in the summer. No, in the back on the vacation. I made or I might uh, take my TOEFL exam in next year.
Okay, yes, that is correct. Only one little correction, Gina. Remember, if you say might, yes, it's might with T, right? But if you say may, only may, because if you say made, that's not going to be correct. Okay, so in the first one is going to be my family may travel to Miami. That's perfect. And the second is good. I might take the TOEFL, right,
I
in next
might.
year.
Okay.
Or in January, or in December, right? I changed some words, but the idea is may without the T and might with the T. Just that one, Gina. All right. I don't know if you have questions about
Mm, not teacher.
that. Okay. Now, must, please. Obligations. Tell me, please, Gina, one thing that you must do and one thing that you must not do, right? It can be here in class, it can be in your house, it can be at the university, it can be in your job, it can be in any place, Gina. What do you say? What's one thing that you must do and one thing that you must not do?
Eh, I must not work alone in tonight or at the night. Um, and um, I must go to my class or my university class.
Okay. Yes. Any obligation that you have is good. In the first one, right, remember, if you say in the nights or at the nights, that's going to be incorrect. You can say directly at nights, only at nights or in the evenings. All right. At nights or in the evenings. Uh-huh. Exactly. Good. Yes, that is correct. Good. So again, this is not the lesson yet. This is just review before the main lesson. And now we have the lesson for advice, okay? Because this lesson, Gina, the title of this lesson is Models of Advice. Okay, so this was review, 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 remembering, remembering. Now this is the real lesson. For advice, right, to give advice, we use should, we use ought to. They are synonyms in this case. Should and ought to, they are synonyms. And had better. Had better is a little bit different because it shows consequence. Okay, it's something that actually it's a very good idea that you do. If you don't do something with had better, there's going to be consequence. All right, but should is advice, ought to is just advice. Had better is also advice, but again, is stronger because if you don't do it, once again, some consequence might be there. So, starting with should, right? This is very simple, Gina. So, we're going to cover the three elements, and after covering the three elements, we are going to write one paragraph in which you're going to give advice and recommendations to people visiting. It can be your country, it can be your city, it can be your house, it can be your university, it can be a specific location. All right, after that the practice is going to be one paragraph giving advice using should, using ought to, and using had better. Okay, but before going there, Gina, we are going to read. So let's read everything here, please. The explanation and the examples, please.
Eh, we use should to give recommendation and advice. This modal verb can be used in affirmative and negative sentence and also in questions. You should go to the doctor. You should not eat ice cream because you are sick. Should I travel to La Paz?
Okay, thank you, Gina. So, affirmative, negative, and in questions, right? We know that. This is very simple. Should is just advice, right? Something that is a good idea to do. If you are sick, of course, you should go to the doctor. Or you shouldn't eat ice cream because you're sick. Or a recommendation, right? If you want to ask for recommendations of or advice, you ask, right? Should I go to the party? Should I travel to La Paz? Should I buy that? Should I do this, that? You are asking for recommendations and advice, right? I believe that this is simple. Again, remember that you can ask any questions, Gina. The second type is the same, okay? This is synonym of should, but this is Old English, okay? This is Old English. And little by little, this is not being used as often as should, all right? And it has some characteristics. So let's read, please, Gina. Ought to, the definition, the explanation, plus the two examples that you got over there.
We also use ought to give recommendations and advice. In American English, this modal verb can only be used in affirmative sentence. It is possible to write negative sentence and questions, but people don't use them anymore. Examples: you ought, you ought, you ought to stay home instead of going to the party. She ought to study harder to pass this course.
Okay, great. Very good. Just one little detail in your reading. Remember, if you say sentence, sentence is plural, or sorry, singular, right? One sentence. But if it's plural, we have to say sentences, right? Why? Because we need to make the plural noticeable. If one is sentence, then it's going to be two sentences, right? If it's one office, then we have two offices, right? So we are going to add the S. If it finishes with S, we have to add the E to make sure that we understand that this is plural. Okay, so let's repeat this word, please, Gina. Let's say sentences.
Mm, sentences.
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 Exactly. There you go. Now, again, right? If you have questions, let me know. Ought to is the same as should, but you don't use this in negative. It's not as common anymore. You don't use this in questions. We only use this in affirmative recommendations, right? You ought to stay home instead of going to the party is the same as you should stay home instead of going to the party. Okay, and ought to is just like one big word, one big expression. And after ought to, we use still the base verb, right? Stay and study. But ought to is together in this case, ought to and ought to. All right. Now we have just one more. Again, remember you can ask questions at any time. Now, had better. Had better is also for advice, Gina, but it's stronger than should and ought to, as you can read over there. And it says, there's always a consequence if you don't do this. Okay, had better is very strong, and it's advice that has, one more time, something negative if you don't do it. So this time, please, let's only read the examples that we have over here.
Hmm. And you had better study or you won't go out. She had better attend class or she will fail the course.
Thank you very
Course,
much, Jane.
course, of course,
The course, course,
the
in this
course,
case, course. Yes,
course.
great. Uh-huh. And it's had better, right? This is a strong advice, a strong suggestion. So you have better study. Why? Because if you don't study, you won't go out, right? So the consequence if you don't study is that you won't go out. All right. So it's if it's as strong as that, you say you'd better study, right? You'd better I don't know, anything, right? You'd better clean your room, right? This is very common in parents, right? Parents and children. You better clean your room now. Or, right, you say or else, they say else, right? Else, and they give you the consequence, right? You'd better, I don't know, right? You better, what else could be? Bath the dog, okay? Bath the dog, or walk the dog, or you better improve your scores, or you'd better, right, eat everything. You'd better eat your vegetables, right? It's like very strong. Why? If you don't do it, something will happen or something won't happen. Okay, there's always a consequence here. This is the consequence. You won't go out. And here, this is the consequence. She will fail the course. And it's a negative consequence. Okay, so with that, the three elements are covered, Gina. I want to know first if you have any questions about these three elements. Please let me know if you do.
Examples?
No, not yet. First, I want to know
Oh.
if you have questions. Any questions about should, ought to, or had better?
Mm, ah, además de usar or, puedo usar ers.
In some cases, yes, if the structure is correct, yes, but else, Gina, is more common in speaking only. For writing, it's better if you use or in this case.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good. So let's do it, please. Remember, Gina, this is the condition. You need to write one complete paragraph, okay? One complete paragraph. And the complete paragraph, even it can be more, okay? One paragraph or two. It's up to you, Gina. One paragraph or two. But in that paragraph or two, you are going to give advice. Imagine that you have a website, Gina, or you have a blog. Okay, you have a blog for travelers, people that are traveling. So they are going to visit again your country, your city, I don't know, your house, your region, your college, I don't know, anything about something about all right? So you need to give advice, positive and negative advice to those people, all right? To those people that are going to visit again that specific place, right? And you say, welcome, right? You can do it like this. It's up to you, Gina. You can say, right, welcome to my, I don't know, my college, welcome to my house, welcome to my city, welcome to my anything. And you say, right, to have the better experience or the best experience, you should go here and there. You shouldn't buy this in this place. You should eat that first. You should drink these beverages that we got, right? You ought to, right? You ought to travel to these villages or to this village, right? You ought to take this bus if you want to get there, or you'd better, right? You'd better book your reservations, or you'd better actually book your tickets, right? In this period of time or in this part of the year, if you want to be on time. Or you can say, or you won't get a good price. Okay, so I'm making up everything, but something like that, Gina. One paragraph or two in which you give general recommendations and advice using should, using ought to, and using had better to people that are reading your blog, to people that are reading your paragraphs to follow your advice. So I don't know if you have questions so that we can have the time to do it. Let me know, please.
Okay. I speak or I write?
No, right. It's going to be writing in the
Okay.
same document.
Okay.
Mhm. Okay, so let me go when you're there. Once you are there, Gina, it's 8:40 more or less. We're going to have until 8:45, 46 more or less. We check at that time, okay? Anything that you got until 846, please. All right, so if you're still working on that, let's be finishing the last ideas, please. I'm going to the document, I get there, and we check what you got, please. In Gina, I'm just going there. Preparing live stream. I don't know why they are showing that. Okay, so finish that last idea, please, and you read after that.
Finish.
Okay, let's read then, please, Gina.
Okay. My family and I love to travel, so I have some recommendation for you. First, you had better book the hotel and plane tickets early, or you will get high price. Pra, Price, no sé cómo se pronuncia. Second, you should obtain information about the place. And finally, you must not walk very tonight on the street unless you are with someone aware about the place.
Okay, thank you very much, Gina. In general, it is very good. Okay, few details. Then in the last part, we have to work on some changes in the last part. But the first part, it seems great. Okay, I'm going to teach you again some rules about writing. Remember the rules that we mentioned in Gina that are here, right? So if we have to complete ideas, we can use comma if we have a fanboy. If we don't have a fanboy, we need semicolon or periods. And we can also use transitional words and phrases with semicolon and period. Or we can start, right, I don't remember this one, but we can start with a transitional, yes, this is a transitional phrase, and then the complete idea. Okay, but here, this is what we got, right? My family and I, subject, love, verb, to travel, complement. One complete idea. I, subject, have, verb, some recommendations for you, complement, right? So, complete idea. So, two complete ideas, we have to connect them. So is a fanboy, so that's great. But to use the fanboy, we need to use a comma over there. Okay, why? Because it indicates that this is dividing to complete ideas, and so indicates consequence. Okay, so it's good. My family and I love to travel, comma, so consequently, thus, as a result, I have some recommendations for you. First, comma, perfect. You had better book the hotel and plane tickets early. Great. Or comma, or that's also perfect. I'm just going to, this is not correction, right? I'm making this to compare. They are working the same way, right? Complete idea, comma, so complete idea, comma, or complete idea. That's fanboys, and that's with commas, and it's perfect. Okay, this is very good. Second, comma, you should obtain information about the place. Perfect. And here, we are not going to say and finally, all right? Why? Because and is very, very weak to be used after a period. So it's better to directly use it with finally, okay? Just finally. And you say, finally, comma, you must not walk. Now, this is not correct. Tonight, right? Tonight means this. It's in the chat, Gina, right? That's the meaning of tonight. So if you say very tonight, it's not
No,
correct,
take
right?
it.
So it's going to be very late in the evening or very late at night. Okay, so that's one possibility. Okay, you must not walk, sorry, very late at night. I think that's what you wanted to say. So that is the case. on the street unless you are with someone. If you say well about the place, also is not that correct. Well means it's an adverb, okay? It's like you're saying this. But actually, this is not used in English in that way. So instead of well, perhaps you want to say you are with someone who knows the place well. Okay, who knows the place well, right? In that
Yes.
case, you are exactly you're talking about the knowledge that the person has. Okay, so someone who knows the place, even you can say just well, it's good in order to keep the same idea. This is what we call an adjective clause. An adjective clause describes something that is not clear, like someone. Okay, so in this case, you are describing someone. Unless you are with someone, someone what? Someone who knows the place well. And this person can guide you and can show you where to go and where not to go. Right? So that's it. I don't know if you have questions about these corrections or these details, Gina. Let me know, please.
Mm, and the unless before I don't use the comma.
No, because unless is like if is in the middle, and if unless is in the middle, and if because is in the middle, if
Mm.
when is in the middle, if while is in the middle, you don't need comma. All right, those are different. You need commas with this, okay? Here, actually, I think I did it here, right? Over here. So we're going to add here if, unless. Okay, this is the list of verbs, or sorry, of words. If you have because, when, while, who, if, unless, where, when, since, sometimes since, not always, no comma when they are in the middle. Okay, but if you have and, nor, but, for, yet, but one more time, no, my mistake. What am I missing? So fanboys. Okay, actually, I'm going to show you. Use commas with fanboys. What are the fanboys? These are the fanboys. Okay, you have fun voice. Okay, so use commas with this, with for, with and, right? Sorry, with uh, nor, with but, with or, with yet, and with so. Okay, again, my mistake here. With these ones, you have to use a comma, okay, before them. So complete idea, comma, for, complete idea, and for, complete idea, complete idea, comma, nor, complete idea, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you use comma with them, but you don't use comma with them if they are in the middle. If
Teacher,
they are not,
one example when use the yet.
yet is exactly the same as but. So I can say, this is going to be my example. Okay, here yet is not the yet you use at the end. For example, I haven't finished my homework yet. No, it's not that yet. Yet is the same as but. So you can say he likes pasta, comma, yet she likes fish. Okay, so you are showing contrast. You are only showing contrast. All right, you want to say that one person likes something, however, but yet this other person likes something else. Okay, and the same, right? You can say John supports, right, Joe Biden, right, as the president of the USA, comma, yet his girlfriend uh, doesn't agree. Sorry, mistake over here. Doesn't agree with him. All right, because she supports, I don't know, right, Donald Trump. So, and I'm going to not everything like that. It's not good. And this one. Okay, I'm going back in a second, please. I'm just going to use this over here. All right. So this is how you use yet, Gina. It's in this case, yet is exactly the same as but. So he likes pasta, but she likes fish. Correct. Or John support Joe Biden as the president of the United States, comma, but his girlfriend doesn't agree with him because she supports Donald Trump. Okay, so but and yet for contrast, I'm going to write over here. Okay, contrast and contrast. For is for reason. Okay, is for reason. And is for addition. Right? Nor is for negative agreement. Or is for possibility. Right? Or actually, no, options. Okay, for options after that. And that's related in a certain way, yes, for the possibility or possibilities better. And so is for consequence. Okay, you have to think of that if you are going to use one of those, Gina. So if you want to give a reason after something, you say for. And I'm going to give one example of that type, okay? And it replaces because. Okay, same as because. Here, for is the same as because. It's not as common, but it's for writing. And you can listen to some songs, for example, if you listen to Elvis Presley, okay, what's the name of the song? Falling in love with you. Can't help. I can't help falling in love with you. Okay, if you listen to that song, it has for as reason. So you have, for example, I cannot go to the party, comma, for I am very sick. And again, it sounds weird, but it is correct. It's a very formal way to say that. And again, in most of the cases, we are going to make corrections about it because it's not as common, but it is valid and it's reason. All right. Or possibilities, I think that's clear. So you used so, that's perfect.
Nor.
Nor is for negative agreement, and it's very special. It's inversion. She doesn't like sing, nor does she like to dance. All right, that's the case. And here, this is special. This is very special, Gina, because you work with inversion. This is inversion. And it's negative agreement. So if you want to say what else this person doesn't like, you use nor. What else this person won't do, you use nor. What else this person can't do, you use nor. Okay, so you can say, I cannot play the piano, nor can I, what can I say, drive a car. Okay, so I cannot play the piano and I cannot drive a truck, so, or a car. And if you want to say those two ideas, you use this structure. So I don't know if you have questions about that. Let me know, please.
Son como que a ella no le gusta cantar, ni tampoco le gusta bailar, algo así.
Yes, in a certain way, yes. That's close to that, exactly. That's a very, very simple translation.
I use the negative only.
With nor, in this case, yes, it has to be negative. If you want to use nor, in this case, it has to be negative. Yes, if it's affirmative, you can use or, right? Or is for
Ah,
affirmative.
okay. Ah, yeah. Okay,
Uh-huh.
understand. Thank you.
Great. No, you're welcome. So it means that here, that's why, right? If you analyze, that's why here we use comma so, here we use comma or, but here we don't say comma unless, because this is not a fanboy, okay? This is in the middle. You only use comma with unless in Gina, or actually not with unless. In the second part of unless, if unless is at the beginning. So you can say, unless you are with someone who knows the place well, comma, you must not walk very late at night. Okay, in that case, you use comma if unless is at the beginning, but not after unless, right? After the idea with unless, you use the comma. If not, you don't use the comma over here. And it's the same for because, it's the same for when, for while, for all the words that you have up there. So that's it. I don't know if you have any other questions before finishing now, because with that, we finished the lesson, Gina. Let me know, please.
I understand.
Okay, good. So let's finish then. All right, that was the last part of today's lesson. We are going to continue then on Tuesday with you, right? It was Thursday, no, Monday. What are the
Monday.
classes we have? Monday with you, right?
Yeah.
Monday, then we have one on Wednesday, and that's it, right? Monday and Wednesday. And I believe Thursday as well. I believe that you already asked for that permission, right, for the two classes because they changed the calendar. So we're going to use the calendar that they give me. Okay, anything that you want to change, Gina, in terms of the dates, in terms of the calendar, it has to be always with management. Why? Because I cannot modify. If I don't have a classes, it's like I'm not having classes, all right? And they are not going to accept that if I don't say anything. You have to change it. They give me the calendar and I have to follow that. Okay, but that's it. Today, please, we're finishing here. As always, I'm sending the survey. You have to see it over there. Please, let's answer to those questions. And that's it for now.
Uh, I did.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Then have a good night, have a good weekend, and see you on Monday, Gina.
Okay. Bye, teacher.
Bye bye. Take care.